Over the last few days, I've been getting several messages from constituents asking me if I've seen this story by the Fifth Estate talking about the Liberals' failed procurement and partnership agreement with CanSino of the Chinese Communist Party to develop and manufacture a vaccine for Canada. I just really want to thank CBC for being right on top of this story, for bringing it out 3 weeks after the election, but also bringing it out 18 months after Conservative members, including myself, brought this forward in the House of Commons. I actually had a speech on this, as well as questions and question period, not to mention brought this up during discussion and debate in the Health Committee with the Health Minister 18 months ago. This is incredible that CBC is just now breaking this news story that should have been a news story more than a year ago and should have been a major news story during this election, which highlighted the inept failures of the Liberal government when it came to accessing and procuring vaccines that could have been developed and manufactured right here in Canada. The Prime Minister on several occasions had said that we will be manufacturing vaccines here in Canada, and yet not one single dose has been developed and manufactured here at home. This is unacceptable. But again, thanks CBC for being right on top of that story.
Now we've come full circle on the vaccines. And I talked about, some of the numbers that we have right now, but I'm going to talk a little bit about why I question why we're here and where we could have been if the Liberal government wasn't discriminating, and I don't know another better way to say that, Madam Speaker, why the Liberal government was discriminating against a made-in-Canada solution. Canadian vaccines that could have been developed and manufactured here in Canada. The Liberal government initially started with an agreement with CanSino, a Canada-Chinese partnership to develop and manufacture the vaccine. The Liberal government poured literally millions of dollars into that partnership at the beginning. Now, I would question, after everything we've been through with the Chinese Communist Party, why would we have ever put our trust in a partnership with the Chinese government? Why would that have been the one solution that the Liberal government had looked at? Now, not surprisingly, that partnership fell apart in the spring and early summer. As a result of that, the Liberal government had to scramble to find what other solutions were out there. And unfortunately, we don't know what agreements they signed. We don't know the details of what they relinquished or what we gave up, or do we give up the licenses to manufacture the Pfizer or AstraZeneca vaccines here in Canada? But what I find the most frustrating, Madam Speaker, is we didn't have to go through any of this. We could have had a made-in-Canada solution. It is very clear that the Liberal government's inability to access and procure vaccines is rooted in the mistakes they made a year ago, when they were putting their faith in an agreement with the Chinese Communist Party and the CanSino agreement that, to shock of no one, fell through last summer, having the Prime Minister and his procurement minister scrambling, hat in hand, to those pharmaceutical companies asking for, whatever we could get.
Receive the COVID vaccine until months after other countries have. This will cost lives and jobs. The government's decision to focus on a deal with CanSino, which may have been signed due to diplomatic priorities as opposed to health priorities, and may have fallen apart due to diplomatic reprisal or advice from CSIS and the RCMP, did that decision have any role to play in why Canadians are so far behind in receiving doses of vaccines from other countries?
The first door the Prime Minister opened was with China. We also found out last week the government had been briefed on the security risks involving the Chinese company CanSino. The Prime Minister said that news report was making things up. Now we learn that the scientists agreed with the security experts on CanSino. So if the security experts were against partnering with China and the scientists were against partnering with China, why did the government partner with China?